What's that thin line really between arrogance and commanding the room?
Arrogance seeks validation. Presence is anchored in preparation. You know what you're doing. What decision shaped my life the most? You need to ask intelligent questions, and you can only ask intelligent questions when you have researched. And like I said, building executive presence comes with knowledge, comes with that composure, comes with the technical know-how and all those things. And once you have done that,
why do some very competent people never make it into leadership? Today, we are going to have a conversation about competence, about leadership, about really getting to the top. And I have none other than a woman who's had close to 2 decades experience in banking and in leadership. And actually, she has seen people go up the ladder and herself has climbed the corporate ladder. And she's going to help us delve deep into the conversation of competence will not be enough if you want to get to the top. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our guest for today, Dora Asante. Hi, Dora.
hello.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Banking and leadership. I read a little bit about you on LinkedIn and I noticed that you have been around. you have done a lot of things.
Just for a little while.
Oh, that can be relative. And I see that you have managed big money. You see a lot of millions and billions there.
Relative as well.
Very relative. Okay. So, and you have obviously close to 10 or close to 2 decades of experience.
That's
I
right.
think approximately like 18 or 17 years.
That's right.
Of
18
experience, banking, leadership. You've probably seen or yourself experienced how people have climbed up the corporate ladder. Probably seen very competent people who never made it into leadership. They just did their work, and some of them are probably out of the system by now, retirement and things like that have happened to them. What has been your impression about competence, getting your right foot into leadership throughout these 18 years? What has been your impression about this?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I've been around for some time.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched. I've been in rooms. I have participated in certain activities.
Yes.
My impression, competence is very important. But there's something called presence. Now, can you imagine a room full of people having discussions, people walking around here and there?
Yes.
And then you have that one person enter the room. And once the person enters the room, everything starts getting into order. People start taking their seats. People start adjusting. Some take their notebooks, some take their pens, etc. I would say that competence is very important, but there's something called executive presence. And that executive presence is the power you feel before someone talks.
The power you feel before someone talks.
Yes.
Interesting. And when you're just talking about executive presence, the way sometimes, for me, it has almost become like a buzzword. Everybody at the top now talks of executive presence. But some of them to look at it as the way you appear in terms of dressing. Sometimes the way you talk. What's that thin line really between arrogance and commanding the room?
Sometimes a little arrogance is not very bad.
Okay.
But I'll give you the difference between arrogance and commanding the room or executive presence.
Right.
Arrogance is loud. Presence is quiet conviction. Yeah.
I like that.
Arrogance
is loud.
But
Presence
is quiet conviction. Arrogance seeks validation. I'm doing something. I want you to know that I'm doing it. I want you to see that I'm doing it. Presence is anchored in preparation. You know what you're doing, but you do not seek the validation of others to know that what you're doing is impactful or is impacting. So while arrogance seeks validation, presence is anchored in preparation. You do not need the validation of other people.
So, okay.
And then when you have presence, you don't need to remind people that you are important. Arrogance will remind you, do you know who I am?
I'm the boss.
But presence, it just announces itself. You don't need to tell it. People just see it, they know it, they feel it, and they align. That's presence.
So, before I go to how to really build executive presence, what are some of the misconceptions? I think we've spoken about the arrogance and what executive presence really is. But what are some of the other misconceptions that people have when it comes to executive presence?
That you're born with it. People think that to have presence, you have to be born with it. But it's a dangerous misconception. You actually build it with time. It's learned. You can actually learn that. So one of the misconceptions is that one is born with presence. You can build it over time.
So you can build presence over time. You're not born with it, just like leadership.
Exactly.
Right. So why do organizations promote people beyond competence? Because at the end of the day, I think that if I set a business and let's say I'm selling pure water, at the end of the day, I want my pure water to be sold and get my revenue. What do I care about your presence and all those things around? If I own a bank, I want to be able to give loans, help businesses do what they have to do, get my money back. As long as the bottom line is met, what do I care? Why competence? Why executive presence?
So competence is knowing the job. So I give you two people. One who really knows the job, technically has studied for it and everything. So technically, that person is sound, knows the job, knows the nuances of the job. And then comes presence. Presence, apart from knowing the job, you command how it is done. You command how people should respond to you. In fact, presence comes with a response that is not solicited. And so you have two salespeople, one who has a technical know-how, but then the other person who has influence, who commands presence, or who commands the space within which he or she finds herself. Which of the two would win?
The one who commands the space.
And so institutions or industries are looking for someone they can safely leave the job with and go to bed. And that is someone with presence.
We have been talking about executive presence. Now, how do you build it? How do you build executive presence?
Okay. I think that in our engagement so far, the snippets have come up, in some of my submissions. To build presence, it comes with some preparation.
Okay.
If you're attending a conference, if you have a speech to deliver, if you have a lecture to deliver, you need to know what you're delivering. You cannot give what you don't have. And so you need to be knowledgeable in what you deliver. And when you engage people, and you know what you're talking about, people easily they lean in. When you do not know and you're also delivering, it shows. And so being knowledgeable about whatever space you find yourself in is one of the very important ingredients for building presence. It comes with composure. You're not in a hurry to defend. When you find yourself in a difficult conversation, you're not in a hurry to defend yourself. Because of the knowledge you have acquired or you have gained, you take your time, you compose yourself. So it comes with this composure that lightens the room. So when you're knowledgeable, you can compose yourself in difficult conversations. So composure is also very important.
Yeah.
We spoke about competency. We aren't saying that competence is not important. To be able to have that presence, you need to be competent as well. If you are not competent, what presence are you commanding?
Yeah.
So you also need to be competent, have the technical know-how, and then you can add the soft things to make that competence transferable in terms of confidence to the people that you're engaging.
So knowledge, composure. So knowledge will be the same as competence, wouldn't it be?
Right.
Okay. Right. So to build executive presence, you need to be knowledgeable and you need to be able to build the composure. Now, let's bring it down to women. Okay. Since you're a woman, and I believe that women face, actually, all the gender or male and female face some peculiar challenges based on who they are. When was it? I think was it yesterday or so? I had a conversation with someone and he was saying that his mother, who is in her, like she's a grandmother now, I think in the 70s, said that those days she used to be able to do a lot of things, but now people don't really pay attention to her because of age and because she's a woman. And there is that, I think there's that subtle subtle behavior that a lot of people have when a leader shows up and she's a woman. We are not used, especially this part of the world, we are not used to having women drive in the driver's seat, right? So there are a lot of things that a woman has to overcome to be able to put out executive presence. What are some of the things that you've had to overcome to put out that kind of composure and to put out your knowledge in a way that commands the room?
Okay, I think this would flow from the earlier question you posed. But I know you are asking the questions, but let me just pose a question. Don't answer. Are we ready for a woman president in Ghana? If yes, why? If no, why not? So there are various misconceptions. Women are soft. You know, when you're too soft, she's not leadership material. When you're too firm, oh, she's too difficult. She's arrogant. When you're too visible, you're over-promoting yourself. When you're too quiet, she's invincible. So, you know, the things that leadership require are sort of enveloped in characteristics or features or values that are perceived as male characteristic. Male character. To be a leader, you've got to be tough. Women are too soft. Women are too quiet. You know, so it actually agrees with the synopsis you presented earlier. when you're in a room and you're expecting that, oh, there's a leader who is coming, and the person walks in and it's not a man and it's a woman, you're not too sure what to expect and all that. So how I've overcome all these misconceptions, and Rome was not built in a day. All these misconceptions are deeply rooted. Sometimes it is learned from when we're born. And so even you as a woman, you have to go the extra mile or do the extra things to position yourself as capable or being able to, take up that leadership position or do what is expected of you as a leader. So one, working on yourself, getting that misconception out of the way, and then breaking that.
I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. I have an important announcement to make. From our analytics on YouTube, we noticed that only 5.4% of our viewers are subscribers, meaning that 94.6% of you watch our content but do not subscribe. If you think that we are sharing some good content, please subscribe to the Kwabena Dapa podcast. Let's continue our conversation.
And like I said, building executive presence comes with knowledge, comes with that composure, comes with the technical know-how and all those things. And once you have done that and the misconceptions are done away with, you don't need to announce it. People see you and they know that, no, this is a true leader.
So I hear you say that for a woman, because of the notion that is out there, before you even go to build the executive presence, you have to convince yourself first.
You have to.
And sometimes convincing yourself, do you need to be combative?
If you say combative?
Okay. So, sometimes because of, so even in convincing yourself that you deserve to be there, you might have some people who are very openly condescending, who might say some things to your face because you're a woman. I mean, you should tone down. You shouldn't speak to men like that. Why are you behaving like that? When things like that come to you, I'm saying that should you be combative in the sense that you should face it head on. Tell the person right there in their face what you believe and what you stand for. Or try to, there's that notion that when things like this come, you want to maybe, after the meeting, have a conversation with the person, go that kind of soft way, right? Or you have to really stand your grounds and tell the people to their face that this is a new era, this is a new kind of woman that you are meeting, and you have to align in a certain way. Would you go for that, or would you say that try to build bridges in the way that, as Ghanaians, people say that Ghanaians are soft because I know, okay, let me not go there, but people say that Ghanaians are soft.
Naturally.
So naturally, yeah. So should you be that kind of woman who tells the people to their face when some of these issues come up openly, or should you now try and building bridges behind closed doors or things like that?
Well, thank you, but I don't think that there is a one-size solution to this issue.
Right.
Executive presence would teach you that you need to know where you are. You need to know your audience. You need to know whom you are addressing. And then you, with composure, bring out whatever it is that you want to put across. Some will come to you arrogantly and all that. What if that person is your boss? And so there is that thing about executive presence that requires you to know what to say at what time and why. So there are some situations that would require you to face it head on, because then that would set the tone. And then there are situations that would require you to do this behind closed doors.
Mm.
But then again, executive presence, I would always bring it back to executive presence because our conversations is actually embedded in that.
Yeah.
So there's that presence that does not allow people to walk up to you and be arrogant.
Mm.
There is that quiet assurance that people have when they are in your presence that you can do the job. But then when you are faced with arrogance or the scenario that you created, it requires wisdom. So there are situations that would require you to face it head on, and then there are situations that would require you to do it behind closed doors.
Have you been in that situation where you had to face it head on?
Several times.
What did you do?
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
So, the same misconception about women in leadership and whether this person has what it takes to do it or not. So, you hear people come to tell you stuff. Oh, this person has said this. This person has said that. This person has said this. I manage a team of about 20 members of staff in my team. So there are 20 and then 4, so we can say 24.
24, right.
And then from time to time, I hear one thing or the other. This one is not telling it to your face, but then it is something you have heard that is going on. People are talking about. So I needed to face that head on. So I called for a meeting. And let me tell you how I faced it head on.
Yeah.
I put my team in groups of 2.
Right. Sage,
and then another group of people. So there's one group of people sitting opposite to the next group of people. Whoever you're facing, you advise the person on their weaknesses and strengths.
Interesting. That's a setup.
And then on their weaknesses and strengths.
Yeah.
So everybody had their turn of advising and then taking feedback. And this is something I did with myself participating.
Right.
And so it gave the team the opportunity to say whatever it was, their doubts, their concerns. We faced it, so I'm sitting right in front of you, and you're telling me what you think I can improve. Yeah. Sometimes that can be challenging, especially in our Ghanaian, setup, but I made sure that the environment I created made it easy for people to actually tell you what those weaknesses are. Right. And not just telling you what the weaknesses are, but telling you how they think you can overcome those weaknesses. And that is how I faced it head on. It may not look head on, but then the end goal was to put a stop to whatever was happening. On. So facing something head on can take various forms. Right. And like I said, executive presence will demand that you know how to go about a certain situation when something demands, head on, or when something demands you to get around it and get it resolved. So that is how I solved that problem. Yeah. It seemed to be a problem within the team. That is how I got it solved.
I see a lot of emotional intelligence in how you manage that issue because you were not emotional about it.
No.
You were focused on the results that you wanted and not really about personalities. No. So you're able to get that through,
Right.
through the
Right.
way.
Right.
Nice. So now on executive presence again. You know, there's a way that when you dress well, people tend to acknowledge you. Can you draw the line between dressing well and commanding the room? How will you draw the line between dressing well and commanding the room? I'm asking that question because I see a lot of people have that notion that executive presence is almost about dressing well. So they'll spend an arm and a leg just to look good. Yet they do not have the command that looking good should bring to the fore.
That's correct.
How do you draw that line?
Right. If you ask me, I'd say that those two go hand in hand. They are not mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand. You know, there's this thing that I learned from a colleague, and it's a tagline, and it's almost become a mantra. She says that never be caught unfresh.
Wow.
Never be caught unfresh. There's something about packaging. You know, you need to invite people. I mean, people should see you and want to listen to you. Right. Sometimes you would, somebody may be saying something or delivering a speech that is really, but because of the way the person is looking, you know. Yeah. So there's a reason why you would see that newscasters and all that, they dress a certain way.
Understood.
It is because they want to get your attention. So yes, dressing well, packaging is very, 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 very important. So as for the dressing, I'll call it packaging. And then the other one is what?
The presence.
The presence.
Commanding the room.
I'll call it the weight. Because sometimes you can still dress well and find yourself in a very uncomfortable situation, in a difficult conversation. You need to know what you're talking about. Right. And so this never be caught unfresh that I spoke about. Yeah. It's not just in appearance. Appearance is very important because that is what gets or draws the people's attention to you. But then you also have to have a message. If you've dressed well and you do not have any message, I mean, it's just packaging. It has no weight. Yeah. So both go hand in hand.
Both go hand in hand.
Both go hand in hand.
Dress well.
Dress well.
Know your content.
Know your content.
Interesting. Let me go back to the woman's story again. How can a woman own authority without apology?
Okay. I think that it is no different from how do I command my space, or how do I command the room. I'd liken this to salespeople, or you would notice that most organizations would go for women or girls that look a certain way because, one, they want to bait. Right. They want to bait you to have it. And so what I see is that mostly women in sales are maybe 70% of the time more successful than their male counterparts. It's rebuttable. Yeah. And that would take us to how you look. But then the misconception is that because she's a woman, when she enters a man's office, the man would naturally buy.
Listen to her.
Or listen to her. But then if you're a woman and you go to someone's office, or you're a girl and you go to someone's office with a product to sell or a product to offer, you're dressed well. I mean, you're looking the part, but you do not know what you're selling. When you enter that room, the man would sell to you or whoever it is that you meet, because you do not know the product that you're offering or you have on offer, or you can't speak on authority on the product that you offer. The conversation would change.
You become the product.
You become the product. You know, either you become the product or they are selling a different product to you. And by the time you are out of there, the reason why you went there defeated. And so for a woman and for whoever it is, I mean, it doesn't just have to be a woman. You need to know what you're offering. You need to be knowledgeable. If you have come to me as a financial advisor, you need to point to me things that I haven't thought about.
Yeah.
And when I know that you're bringing me some value, or there's value in what you offer, I mean, that is just the way to go. You will be successful, and people would respect you for what you carry, apart from the presence that the outward appearance. They know that there's this value that you're also bringing to the table.
Understood. I like that. I like that punchline that you gave. If you go to the room and you're selling a product and you do not know much of the product, you become the product. That's very, very interesting. Now let's situate executive presence into our cultural setting, right? How does our culture shape executive presence, especially locally? So let me give you an example. When it comes to even respect and hierarchy, okay, maybe at a certain level, you definitely have people ahead of you. How do you command the room that even when you have seniors around, you're even a junior, your presence is still felt? People still look out for what you are going to say. People want to learn from you. How are you able to achieve that? And I'm situating it in our cultural setup, because sometimes when you go in a setting where you have people older than you, it's like you kind of shell, you know, like you want them to tell you what to do, and you do not want to lead the way because culturally you might be seen to be disrespectful and things like that. How do you now put out your executive presence in such a way that you are not a slave of our local cultural setup?
Okay, so I think that age, you've mentioned that already.
Yeah.
Age has a very important part to play when it comes to the Ghanaian culture. Titles also have a very important role to play when it comes to our Ghanaian culture.
Yeah.
And then tone also has a very important role to play. You need to know whom you are engaging. If you've gone before, let me use the Asante. If I have a product which I want to offer the Asante, and I enter the Asante's palace, what is required of me? So it comes with, one, knowing whom you're engaging, what is culturally required of you. So I enter the palace. Do I just say, good afternoon, Nana, and have a seat? What is culturally required of me? Do I have to bow? Do I have to kneel? What do I need to do? I just need to know the nuances that are required of each setting. Right. And so you go to a Ga chief's palace, you may not be required to lie flat. But then you go to the Yanes palace, you are required to lie flat. So it is knowing whom you are engaging culturally, what is expected of you. It doesn't mean that you should shrink, but then respectfully, and because you know your product and the value that you are bringing to the table, you put it across in a respectful manner. So know whom you are engaging, know the nuances of the environment in which you find yourself, and I'm sure you'd be able to navigate. And there's this adage that says that, maybe let me translate it, the child that knows how to wash his hands is able to eat with kings and queens. I hope I got that correctly.
How do you say locally?
That's it.
Yeah.
So you just need to know and then move accordingly.
A follow-up to that, how can young people between the ages of, say, 18 to 35 start building their executive presence? Is it really necessary for you, let's say, to start building executive presence early? If it is, how do you start doing that?
Okay. So I think in one of our in one of my submissions, I mentioned that there's a misconception that you are born with executive presence. You're not born with it. You can build it over time, and you do that intentionally.
Understood.
And so for young people, when you sit in a room, you need to sit like you belong in that room, not arrogantly, but you learn. So you observe, and then you sit in the room like you belong there. And then you ask intelligent questions.
Before we go to intelligent questions, I want to learn, how can you sit in a room and belong there? How do you do that?
Okay, so I've attended events, high-profile events with colleagues, junior colleagues, and sometimes because of the caliber of people in that room, they fidget a lot. And so you would see that they are out there because they think that I don't belong here, you know. So you observe and then you do accordingly. So you sit in that room like you actually belong there. Yeah.
I like that. I like that example. So you go out with colleagues who probably are senior too. They sit in their room and they go out, they're probably on their phone, they probably seem to be absent-minded or whatever is going on there. So the right way is sit there, be part of the conversation. Probably have a notebook and be writing. What do you think?
Correct. That's correct.
Right.
That's correct.
And I'm actually drilling down to that because most of my audience are between the ages of 18 to 35. Most of them are probably in the early or mid years of their career.
Right.
And it's even one of the reasons why we are having this conversation.
Right.
So I want to really practicalize it to them, for them to be able to know how to build that presence in a way that is useful to them. So it doesn't just become like information, but something that is workable. Now you are speaking about asking questions.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Okay. So maybe before I come to the asking questions, you know, we spoke about looking the part, right?
Yes.
And so if you're a young person and you are attending a program where CEOs are, and you're attending this program, you don't go to such a program in jeans and t-shirt. You know the caliber of people who would be present. You dress the part. That makes you feel the part and is able to allow you to also sit like you belong.
Right.
So that's also very important. You need to know what time it is. Let me just put it that way. Yes, and I'd also speak about asking intelligent questions. Sometimes when we're attending a program or we have to be in a certain audience, we need to do a bit of research. What program am I attending? What topics would be for discussion? You know, these days there are several AI tools that help us. It is not replacing the work we do, but it actually helps us, you know, structure our work or structure our conversations. You need to ask intelligent questions, and you can only ask intelligent questions when you have researched about what topic it is that will be up for discussion. When you have researched about it, you can, all these AI tools help you structure some of your concerns, you know, some of the things that you're not too, you know, structure it in a way that would come across as a very intelligent question. Have that one power question, you know, and all these AI tools are there to help us, you know. So when you're attending a program or you find yourself in an event or wherever, in a meeting, wherever it is, you need to come prepared. An executive requires that you are prepared ahead of time. So in your preparation, you're doing your research, and then you are putting away that power question that would put you out there, would make you unforgettable. So ask intelligent question. And then I think we've already spoken about this, but young people need to observe. Young people need to observe. Observe how senior leaders are going about their things. Observe how they handle situations under pressure. You know, it is learned. It's a learned behavior. And we can learn by observing. So observation is also very key when it comes to how young people can build executive presence as they go along.
That's very 4 strong points. Sit like you belong. Dress well. Ask intelligent questions. And I've learned something. Power question. So before you enter any room, you should have a power question.
You should have a power question.
And be observant.
Be observant.
Wow. We are learning.
Actually, it can either be a power question or just a statement. Because you have researched, there is something about the topic that you can contribute to the conversation. So it's either a power question or a power statement.
Either a power question or a power statement. Okay. Now, executive presence. For me, so far what you've spoken about, one thing that has really stayed with me is that the bedrock of building executive presence is knowledge and composure.
That's it.
Okay. Now, for that young person listening to us today, what mindset shifts should they have to be able to build executive presence? I'm asking you this question because you've seen a lot of young people across different generations. Today, the trendy ones are the Gen Zs. And I have my own perception of Gen Zs, because I always tell people that Gen Zs behave the way they behave because of their parents. And I tell people that most parents who have seen the limelight today came from maybe homes that were deprived. And they felt like if their children could know what they know today at an early stage, they would do better. So they gave their children a lot of information and probably didn't guide them on how to manage the information. So today we have overexposed people who have little knowledge. They have a lot of information, yet little knowledge. But I don't blame them. I blame their parents and their socialization, because children are born with nothing. They come here and they learn. That said, to different generations. You have seen them come to the office, you've seen them leave. What mindset shift should that person who is in their early or mid-level of their career have to be able to harness the benefits that executive presence bring?
I think everything we've discussed today would point to that. And so, as for being knowledgeable, it goes without questioning. But there's also respect. And respect compounds. It's not just a one-time event.
Okay.
It compounds. So I'll tell you about some national service persons that we hosted at the workplace maybe 2 years ago. So they qualify as Gen Zs, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So they're very fast, you know, they want things done the fast way and all that. I'd say that 90% of them were not retained. Not because they were not intelligent enough, but because most of them did not learn the nuances of the industry they were serving in. And so you would see that when it comes to technical know, of course, the book has taught you a lot of things.
Yes.
But when it comes to the office politics and, you know, other things require you to behave in a certain way, which most Gen Zs will not do. And so you're late to work. You don't find it important to seek for permission. A lot of things, you know. So those who were able to learn the rudiments of the game, let me call it game, were able to were able to influence senior level executives to ask that they are retained. Because outside of, I'm a national service person, so this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing it and I'm out of there. Outside of that, those who learned the nuances, those who were going for meetings, those who were asking the right questions, those who were positioning themselves in a way that the industry expects you to do, got themselves retained. And I would say that knowledge also played a very important role in there, because when people identify that this person is knowledgeable in this, they always tap into your. So some people came in as national service, but they learned Excel very fast. And Excel is one thing that is needed in the organization. So those who found themselves, you know, acquiring knowledge in that regard got so many people tapping into that knowledge, and then they became indispensable. And then it got them to this side. It got them in. I would talk about another scenario. So those who also depended too much on people pleasing because you thought, you know, so you would find that some people are there, there's nothing to do. They're either on their phones or, you know, so once you see that this person is on their phone, there's someone calling you, go and get me this, go and buy this for me, go and do photocopy for me. At the end of the day, they leave with nothing. And so when it's time for assessment and all that, you see that
there's nothing to be assessed.
There's nothing to be assessed on. The knowledge gained is very shallow.
From what you've said, this is one thing that has really jumped up to me. Technical knowledge does not drive acceptable behavior. And I can see how some of them were technically good, but were not cultural fits.
Right.
And that caused them to lose an opportunity to work in the organization.
Right.
So beyond knowing what to do, you should know how to behave to be accepted in the space. And you spoke about knowing who you are working for and how to behave to become likable. I think that a lot of young people today tend to think that if they are technically knowledgeable, they are likable.
Yeah.
But likability is different from technical knowledge. And can you throw some light on, I like when you gave an example of people who would come to work late but will not see reason why they should tell their boss. That's a good example of, and I think it's a behavior that is quite consistent in the workspace with young people because of the technical knowledge. Beyond technical knowledge, you've spoken of composure. What other thing do you think that young people can do to become likable? Not going to be doing photocopy and bootlicking, but to make them likable in a sense that they are able to also gain knowledge for themselves and also to be cultural fits or fits for the business.
Okay. I think there should be that willingness to learn. Young people come into organizations thinking that they know it. Some. So, okay, so if you've come and you think that you know it, you would be left on your own. But if you show that willingness to learn, you get people actually taking you through one thing or the other. And you know this Excel that I'm talking about?
Yes.
Young people straight from school are not very, conversant with it. Unless you've actually maybe attended a course that's,
polished you up.
Yeah, exactly, has polished you up. But then once you show that willingness to learn, you see people willing to teach you a thing or two. So there should be that willingness to learn. And young people should be inquisitive. Inquisitive, not in the bad way, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You've come to a certain organization, you ask the right questions again. The right questions again. So you need to be inquisitive, and you also need to be willing to learn.
Understood. Be inquisitive and be willing to learn. What's that one habit that would immediately elevate someone into the executive presence, especially people at the mid-level of their career?
Come again.
What's that one habit that would almost immediately elevate your executive presence? And I want us to concentrate on people at the mid to senior level of their career. We want to tap deep into your experience.
That one thing.
Yeah.
Composure. Composure. Sometimes, nobody requires you to know everything.
Yes.
But your composure. Even when you have entered a room, and someone has asked you a certain question which you do not know, you do not have the answer to, your composure would either tell the person that I can rely on this person as they seek or they find answers to my question. I can wait.
Yes.
For the person to bring me whatever solution it is. Or it will the person would dismiss you completely.
Mm.
So composure is everything.
Mm.
So I think that composure immediately, if we're talking about immediate, then composure is that one thing that would elevate you.
Mm.
But I think also preparedness.
Preparedness.
Yes, preparedness, because like I've said already, you need to know where you're going.
Okay.
And what are the likely things that may come up.
Mm.
And so you would see that as I would talk in terms of salespeople.
Yes.
You're going to meet someone for the first time. It's a cold call.
Mm-hmm.
We have tools that give us certain information. Go on Google, immediately put that name on Google, find out about this person.
Yes.
You are prepared. And I would also talk about preparedness in my context because I'm from a bank. And so if I'm meeting a customer, I go prepared. What are the accounts, the customer's transaction trends like? What is that customer doing? What is that customer not doing? It gives you that leverage to be able to advise. So it gives you the opportunity to point out what that person may not have seen.
Sure.
And if it is a cold call,
it
also gives you that touch point. Sometimes when you meet someone for the first time, it's difficult to strike a conversation.
True.
But because you have done your work, preparedness, so you've done your research about the person and all that, immediately there's that touch point that breaks that awkward moments between you and the customer.
Like a sweet coincidence.
Exactly, or whoever you're meeting.
Yeah.
And I think that in my conversation with you earlier, you spoke about being very observant. You observe your environment.
Yeah.
And I'm if there's anything I'm taking away, I'm taking that away.
Right.
It's very important. It gives us that touch point.
Yeah.
You know, immediately to strike a certain conversation. So preparedness is very important.
Yeah. But what you just said reminds me of this quote that I used to use a lot when I was in secondary school. Naturally, I'm not a sharp person. I learn a lot. Like when a lot of people just use a few hours to learn something, I understand. I'll use days. So I used to learn like simple things that people get. I have to use a lot of time to learn it. And I used to have this quote that tough preparation, easy battle.
Right.
And what you said just buttresses that tough preparation, easy battle.
Right. Right.
So I have a signature question that I would want to ask you, especially to inform my guests who follow this podcast and are family in the Community Power podcast. What decision shaped your life the most, and what should others learn from it?
What decision shaped my life the most?
The most. And what can others learn from it?
Okay. So there was a time where I was faced with if we were putting it in a certain way, we would say choosing between the devil and the
high sea.
And the high sea or the deep blue sea.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a place of employment where I had everything. You know, the salary was good and all that, but then it was a junior role.
Right.
At that time, I didn't really see it as a junior role. It wasn't a junior role to me. But then an opportunity presented itself in a different organization. When you put these two organizations on the same table, where I was
Yes.
in terms of maybe international accreditation, or in terms of reach, in terms of whatever you can think about as an organization. It was an international organization. I mean, paid well structures, well put together structures and all that. So I would say that in terms of even job security, where I was okay. But the opportunity presented itself in a different organization.
Yes.
That maybe, let me say, was maybe about 20 years behind.
Right.
Or I would say that before that organization comes to the level of the organization I was working with, it would take maybe another 20 years.
So in terms of reputation.
Yeah. And clout.
Understood.
You would say that where I was okay.
Yeah.
But then the second opportunity presented, I would say, a growth opportunity.
Okay.
The role that was presented to me was a leadership role. Where I was, it wasn't a leadership role.
Okay.
But I was okay.
Okay.
But then this is a leadership role that has been presented to you. In terms of salary, I would say pretty much the same. So, I mean, for somebody in that industry, you would know that, I had a lot of friends, senior colleagues walking up to me and telling me that, no, don't take this
new
role. Do not take this role because of A, B, and C. It made sense.
Yeah.
So that one decision that I would say changed my life, that's the question, would be taking up that role.
Wow.
I chose growth over comfort. I chose growth over comfort. I saw the kind of things that this new role will afford me. It's a leadership role. And in our industry, as you grow, it is your leadership abilities or capabilities that would take you to the next level. So I looked at all the luxuries that the current, at that time, the current institution was giving me, which was comfort. And then I walked away from comfort into growth. And that has been one decision that I would say has changed my life. It's taking me into rooms I never imagined I would be in because of that single decision that I took.
Wow. Choosing growth over comfort. And I like how practical you have been with that. Sometimes I tell my friends that people who listen to me, I tell them that it is sometimes a blessing in disguise when you start working in an organization that is not so big. You really get to learn a lot of things on the ground level.
Right.
And when you get to a bigger organization, you are seen to be more useful because you really learned from the ground.
That's correct.
Because something
that's correct.
The big organizations, there are a lot of comfort.
That's correct. That's correct. And I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
When before I left for
the
new role, there were things that the current organization taught me. And when I'm connecting the dots, I always connect it back to what I learned in my in my previous roles.
Yeah.
What I'm just trying to say is that
Mm.
when we find ourselves in places, or no matter what it is that you find yourself doing,
Mm-hmm.
do it as if your life depends on it. And if you have to learn anything, learn it, because sometimes your next level requires that skill to be able to execute your next level. So when I went for the interview for this leadership role, the new role, which was a leadership role, I was asked, have you ever led people? Have you ever led anybody?
Yeah.
And let me tell you the answer that I gave. So like I said, in my old organizations, there were things that we did. So at some points in time, or from time to time, you are required to be a shadow manager.
Okay.
And shadow manager means that there's already a manager, but you as the junior person would step into the role of a manager.
Okay.
And that is how I prepared myself, because if I took it on the face of it, it probably wouldn't have given me the required that impact, or even the skill, or that touch point to talk about at the time when I needed it most, at the interview.
Yeah.
So this is how I narrated my shadow manager days. That earned me
the role. Wow. No experience is useless.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dora. It's been great having this conversation with you. We have navigated the nuances of executive presence. And for me, one of the things that is going to stick with me, especially because of my audience, is the things that we need to do to build executive presence early on is to sit like you belong in the room, dress well, ask intelligent questions, and then be observant. Thank you for pouring your close to 2 decades experience to us in about an hour or so. We really appreciate that.
I love this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very grateful to be here.
Right.
And hopefully we do this again.
Definitely.
It's quite fulfilling. Very fulfilling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're most welcome, Dora. To my audience, see you in the next episode.